This is the HomeTech Podcast for Friday, September 1st. From Sarasota, Florida, I'm Seth Johnson.
From Reynoldsburg, Ohio, I'm TJ Huddleston.
And from Pickering, Ontario, I'm Gavin Campbell.
And welcome to the HomeTech Podcast, a podcast all about home automation, home technology, and hurricanes, everybody. Yay. It's the first one of the year. It's September, and we get hurricanes here. And you guys can see the rain. The rain is happening.
Yeah, that giant screen you have behind you, that's nice.
Yeah, Ubiquiti has their app, so I was able to load the Ubiquiti app on there, and I've got a big screen of all my cameras, and I can reach, there we go, and touch it and put them on there. And
you still have Clippy out there working too? Like, I just saw him zoom by. How mean.
Torture. No, I put him in the shed. He's living warm, and he was out there mowing, and it started raining, and I came inside, I'm like, oh yeah, Clippy, and I had to go back out and get him. I was nice.
Wow, so, I'm actually surprised, honestly. I thought you were just going to leave him out there all night. He doesn't even have his home right now. He's just in a random shed.
He's got a sensor that if he wants to, he knows that it's raining, and if he wants to, he can go home. But, you know.
He knows you'll just push him back out there.
I feel like that's what all abusers say, but...
Yeah, he knows that it doesn't matter tomorrow when it's sunny. He's going to have to go back on mow. Yeah. Well, it is September. This is the last week here before CEDIA, the big show in September, where I don't know what's going on that week, but obviously the HomeTech Happy Hour is happening on Friday, September 8th, right?
Yep.
So we're all going to be there. TJ, Gavin, Seth. And if you'd like to come out and say hi and drink some drinks at the Rock Bottom Brewery, there in downtown Denver, head over to HomeTech.fm/happy hour or just HomeTech.fm if you can't remember all that. And there's a little banner at the top that says RSVP for the happy hour. Click that. Let us know if you're coming, how many you bringing with you. And if you want to come by and say hi and just kind of chill, talk with industry peers about what you saw at the show, what you thought was cool, all that good stuff. We'll be having a great time. And we do want to thank some of our happy hour sponsors this year. We have 4 of them. We could always use more. So if you are interested in sponsoring the happy hour, please go over there. The information at that link, same link, is in there on how you can become a host, like the following companies: Grid Connect. So if you're a company looking to design a smart home or IoT product for your business, visit gridconnect.com to learn more. For everyone else, you can buy a ConnectSense rebooter and keep your network online. Those are pretty cool things. We'll put a link to them in the show notes. Pixel Vault and Menlo Marketing, they've teamed up for the CEDIA Expo to help integrators take charge of their websites and marketing. Pixel Vault is, what do they do? The website design, and Menlo Marketing really helps you out with their marketing. They're both highly focused on the custom integrator and can know that market inside and out. TJ is walking proof of that. And then they are also teaming up and giving away a Vito Pro Pack Tech MC backpack at the party, right? So you have to actually be in attendance at the party when they give that away. It's got 38 pockets inside. I don't know how you can get like 38 pockets.
So many pockets. You run out of them quickly though when you have tools, but this is a great bag. So definitely come and see it. Maybe win it. Touch it, feel it. I don't know.
Do what you got to do. They are also going to be at the CEDIA Expo booth 4106, and you can learn more about what they do over at pixelvault.io or menlomarketing.io. And we'll put links to them in the show notes as well. We also got Chow Mein. Chow Mein Soft is a leading driver development company specializing in the integration of products for professionally installed control systems. They develop drivers for Control4, Crestron Home, Elan, Fabaro, QSys, RTI, Savant, and URC. Drivers are either manufacturer sponsored or provided for free or licensed on a per home basis. Chow Mein provides 90-day trials and free dealer showroom licensing and 50% discounts to integrators who want to utilize drivers in their own home. You can visit chowmeinsoft.com to learn more. And they'll be there. I think all these companies actually be there at the happy hour. So that'll be fun. And then Blackware Designs, that's where I work. It's a leading distributor in the custom installation Pro V markets. And we will be showing off at booth 4304, the Blacklight Design Tool, which I've come to find out is a finalist in some kind of award thing. So there's like an award, and we're a finalist. Ooh. Yeah, I don't know. I might actually be late because I might have to go to the award ceremony, which happens to be on Friday.
You're going to get like a trophy or something, Seth.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's a leg lamp, honestly. It better be a leg lamp.
Probably not going to be a leg lamp.
A leg lamp.
Just going to go ahead and crush your dreams now.
We'll be also showing the enterprise network heat mapping stuff that we do. We've got Multiview Pro and Video Wall Pro drivers for Control 4 coming out for just a Power and AV Pro systems, and Control 4 driver for Flare Smart Vents that we'll have there in the booth, and the Yamaha MTX Universal Mixer driver, which will be, if you know what that is, it's a fun little piece. It's actually what I'm recording on through tonight. Yay! But yeah, come check us out, booth 4304, and I will be there if you want to come by and say hi. That's all the commerce section. But if you do want to help sponsor the HomeTech Happy Hour, we are still looking for sponsors. HomeTech.fm/happy hour. We'll all the information's there at the bottom.
Have I told you guys I'm excited now to, be there? See what this is all about. My first time there.
It's a lot of walking, I think.
That's the most remarkable thing for Seth is the walking, I guess.
It gets to the point where you want to have like a little scooter that you can scoot around on, I think.
Do you think you can bring like a Lime scooter in the convention center or something, like your own personal one, obviously?
No. I think they have a rule. There's because they have the Segway people that ride around on the Segways, and I think there's a rule against it.
All right.
It'd be nice.
It would be nice. But everybody would be crashing into everybody when they're doing the happy hours of the booths and everything. It would not be a good time.
You can drink and drive. Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, Gavin, there are happy hours in the booths as well on most days. So.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. There's all sorts of swag and free stuff to partake in during the show. And if you get there in the morning, in Infocom, I don't know if anybody's going to do this. We thought it'd be a good idea, but they didn't have there were certain things you had to piece together, and I couldn't figure it out. But we're probably too late to do it anyway. But some booths had like a cookie stand, like they would bake cookies, and they had coffee and cookies in the morning, and that was a lot of fun. So you could just walk right over and just get coffee and cookies right from the booth.
I was so mad because I just bought coffee right before I was walking around, and I started walking around and I was like, no, the booths are giving away coffee for free.
Yeah. That's, we kind of figured that out the second day too. But I think that's a unique to Infocom thing, baby. I don't know. I'll be interested to see if anybody pulls that off at CEDIA. It may just have been the Orlando Convention Center had the particular thing you could buy from them.
The package, exactly. But I'm excited for you to experience it, Gavin. I've only been once myself before, and it was really cool. So there's just a lot of stuff out there that you don't get to see every day, and a lot of really cool displays. I feel like the displays are just everywhere at these shows. So.
And I'm excited to meet all the people. As my wife puts it, you're gonna be like full geeked out for these 4 days. I'm like, yeah. Probably.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there's so much fun stuff to look at, and like a lot of it's not obtainable, but it gives you ideas. Like, there's plenty of stuff that I saw when I went as an integrator. I'm like, I'm never going to buy that. I'm never going to be able to sell it, but how can I do that? Mm-hmm. And so that's always fun to do. And then sometimes you run across little things, little booths on the side. This is my favorite ones to go to, the little small ones. And you just kind of find around the edges where somebody bought a booth and they've got this really cool product in there. And if you hadn't have walked down the aisle off to the side that's hidden behind the giant booth, you would never have seen them. You would never have found them. And they're over there. They pay thousands of dollars for that booth too. And they're there trying to show off what they've got, but nobody can see them because they're behind a thing. And yeah, you just found them. So that's what I like to find. I like to find those things.
I printed out my floor plan and I've drawn out the map of the path to follow so I can hit every booth. Right. And I've tied it into Home Assistant to notify me if I come off path, regular things, stuff like that. Right. But yeah, I have a lot. I've circled booths that I really, I'll probably spend some time at, like the Josh AI booth. I'm really looking forward to seeing that in person. That's one I'm excited for. You're
not just excited for that one to stir up some drama, are you, Gavin? Are you actually interested in Josh AI?
Well, I'll save the drama for the end. I'll let them show me the product, let me, play with it, get to see it a little bit, and then I'll be like, hey, this lawsuit, this looks very familiar,
Just bring a Neo remote.
Yeah.
This isn't working.
No.
And one thing I did notice, TJ, Casa Bonita's website has changed significantly.
What does it say now, Seth?
Well, it's not just the sign up form anymore. They've got all their meal options, and for the kids menu, it's got all the drinks on there. They've got a store with stuff in there. So yeah, it looks like they're saying they're opening in limited quantities now. So you can get tickets, but it's still that part sticks you over to the sign up for your newsletter thing. And I haven't heard anything. of course I signed up, but I really want to get into this place, man. It's got to happen. So
$40 per ticket. I'm fine with it. Let's do it.
Yeah, you get to see somebody jump off a mountain.
That's what I'm saying.
Scuba dive. Yeah.
I mean, that's going to be better than CEDIA. Don't tell anybody I said that.
We've got sopapillas, man.
Try and get some seats for the Thursday night. Let's go.
Let's try and do it. Yeah, exactly. All right. HomeTech.fm/happy hour. Go RSVP there. If you haven't already, let us know you're coming. If you'd like to help out and sponsor, information's at the bottom of that page as well. And we do thank all of our sponsors this year, Grid Connect, Pixel Vault and Menlo Marketing, Chow Mein and Blackwire for helping host the happy hour this year. It's hard to do, but we're going to do it. We're going to pull it off. All right. A couple of new products this week. What do you say we check these out in our HomeTech headlines?
Let's do it.
Tableau is introducing its 4th generation device and revamped app experience. Hardware boasts a new sleek redesign and 2 ATSC 1.0 tuners for high quality MPEG-2 video, HD video. It's got an optional inline amplifier and 50 plus hours of onboard DVR storage, which you can span up to 8 terabytes. So that's quite a bit. I don't know how many hours that is. Offers Wi-Fi and Ethernet connectivity, streaming to smart TVs and mobile phone apps. They're introducing and including 40 plus free streaming channels. So they're kind of doing the what was it, Pluto TV kind of route where they can have commercials on these free TV streaming channels. That's pretty cool. The redesigned apps features an intuitive homepage, speedy 14-day live TV grid, series recording, and more. I think this was about $100. Device supports Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Android TV, and iOS. I think it's also got support for Apple TV, Samsung, LG, and Vizio Smart TVs is coming. So kind of a nice little update for this product. I haven't heard from these guys in years, and I was saw the story, started looking through it, and it looks actually pretty good still. TJ, you were saying you have one of these, right?
Yeah, I actually have one. I bought one, I think 2 or 3 years ago, and I was like, it'd be nice just to have over-the-air antenna. I'm not going to hook it up directly to my TV, but I'd like some way to, watch it through my streaming services and stuff like that. And I think I've used it like 4 times, and it's honestly because every time I go to use it, it's just ads. And it's like once in a while, just like, let me go ahead and just check out what's on over-the-air antenna, because I haven't had a cable box or like satellite in like a decade now. And every time I turn it on, it's literally just ads. And you're trying to find something, you're like, I'll just go to a different channel. No, ads. I'll just go to this different, nope, ads. So I think it's a really good idea, and they work really well, and the setup process is very easy. Like, I think when I set mine up, I didn't even need like an account or anything. If you wanted to like watch it remotely, then you did need an account, but like just to set it up and use it, it just walked you through it, and it worked. And it was like super nice. And whenever you wanted to watch it on your Roku or whatever, you would download the app, and it would scan the network, and it would say, hey, is this your device? And you'd say, yep. And it would say, okay, cool, here you go.
Does it work when you're away from home?
It does. So last I knew, all you had to do was sign up for their account, and like that was pretty much it. There might have been some like port forwarding or something behind it, but I think it was literally just tied to an account, and that was it. So super easy.
Yeah. There's 2 flavors of this. There's a Tableau Total System, has a 35-mile indoor antenna. It comes for... It's $110 for a limited time. It's usually $130, and just if you want the device, only $99. So not bad. It seems like this is a US only thing right now, Gavin. But I know they sell in Canada, but there's got a lot of like disclaimers on this particular product that it's US only. So
yeah, and for that $100, it seems like you're getting a lot for that $100. Like when you read off all the features, I'm like, wow, that's pretty impressive, So it's priced nicely. In Canada, I did try the OTA setup. I had my antenna, I set it up, etc. But I could only get like 4 channels. It was just more headache than it was really worth. One of the channels I got back then was really clear. Like it was impressive, but the other 3 were channels with stuff I didn't even want to watch. So I kind of gave up on that. But this you guys, I think, have it better down there when it comes to OTA stuff.
Yeah. Mine's hit and miss. Like I can pick up some channels, but not all of them. And then I don't know. I think I'm like right in between 2 markets. So I kind of have to, I put an outdoor antenna up and like aimed it a particular way, and it picks up a couple of things. I use the, what is that thing called? The silicon dust. What is it?
Yeah, silicon dust. That's a good one too.
Yeah.
HD Home Run. That's what it is.
Yes.
Watch TV anywhere in your home. Kind of the same thing. It has no NVR function. I think it probably costs more for whatever reason, but you can hook it into things like Channels, the Channels app, and it records there. And I know a lot of people go that route, but I actually like this route better. For $100, I get a little bit of storage on it. Record, play. There's no subscriptions. Like, it doesn't charge you. They don't really have anything to charge you for other than like you buy the product, and then I guess over time they will continue to update the software. But that's not a bad price. I might grab one of these because it kind of does fit a small niche that I have where every now and then there's like an award show or like maybe a sports ball game on that I want to see, and I'll be able to use this to tune into it. I'll have to check that out.
Well, you guys are going to laugh because when I bought the house that I'm currently in right now, I bought one of those big bulky antennas that I could put up in the attic because I was like, oh, maybe, whenever I'm doing attic stuff, I'll just install this antenna in my attic. So that way I get, all the local channels and stuff. And I am probably not going to do that. So I wasted $60. But now do I need to double down and spend $110 and then I could just get this nice 4K setup with a super good indoor antenna? Decisions.
Doubling down is the way to go. Let's do it.
Why not spend more money on stuff I don't need?
Exactly. You'll hook it up one day.
No, I'll hook it up and just never use it. My problem is never the hooking up of technology because I'm usually excited when I get new stuff. I'm like, yes, this is great. I can set it up and touch it and feel it and all that good stuff. And then I get it set up and sometimes I just never touch it again. But yeah, well, that was fun.
Yeah, I think we talked to, and I'm not sure it's the same owner anymore, but Grant Hall, way back on HomeTech 57.
Wow.
Yeah, a long time ago. I do remember them talking. We talked to them about the Tableau, and they called it the OTA DVR.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that's the reason I got it, is so I can record if I wanted to, and like nobody else did that.
Interesting. It's a different world back then. That was 2015. That's a long time ago.
Streaming services back then.
Did we? I don't know. I mean, they talked about integrating with Plex. They had HD channel finder that you could go and figure out like where to aim your antenna. I think I actually used that later on, but yeah. Wow. Fun stuff. Go check them out. I might actually get one of these. It's actually, for the price, is really not that bad. Like Gavin said, you get like 8 hours of storage on this stupid thing too. That's pretty good.
Yeah, if you do the full 8 terabyte set, you get 1,000 hours. And that's what you need. You need 1,000 hours of over-the-air antenna channels.
Commercials.
All commercials.
No, thank you. All right. Well, let's move on here. SwitchBot has introduced a new innovative S10 robot vacuum mop. It features an auto refilling water station that connects. Guess what, guys? It connects to something. Guess what it's going to connect to? It connects to your plumbing. How amazing is this?
I love it already.
This is the true connected home right here. The S10 offers a fully automated cleaning experience with autonomous water tank draining and refilling, an auto empty charging dock, and unique roller side mopping. It also showcases multitasking capabilities by using its water supply for other household appliances. The S10 debuts at IFA and plans to be released through Kickstarter. SwitchBot's compact K10 Plus robot vacuum also arrives, which has a small form factor, and I think they claimed it to be like the smallest robot vacuum or something like that. And so we'll have to check that out when it comes out. But this sounds interesting, like a robot vacuum mop that connects right into your water supply and I guess your drain. It maybe like how your dishwasher hooks up. This kind of seems really like a smart idea. I like it.
Yeah, honestly, like this thing sounds so awesome just because the way that they show it connecting is like something that any homeowner can do. The only thing I can see is like the space to actually put it in, right? Is because you're going to have to put it in the area underneath your sink. And I don't know about you, but the area underneath my sink is like the worst spot to put anything because it's like the common area of the whole kitchen. And so like this thing is going to have to be like super slim, but even then, like it's just always going to be in the way. So that reminded me though of that robot vacuum cabinet thing that we saw. Somebody linked in the Slack channel, and I was like, this would be perfect for that because you could just tuck it away underneath the sink and never have to worry about it, and it would just come out and do its thing. So I'm excited about this. I don't know if I'm going to buy it though. $1,000 is a little rich for me, but we just moved in a house with all vinyl flooring, and it sucks to walk around on because all the stuff that's constantly on it. But like, I have a robot vacuum, but like that's only half the battle. So.
Yeah, robot vacuums are one of my favorite things in the house, I find, because it takes care of one of those things that you just don't like doing. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's good enough that you don't have to vacuum like for a month or so, right? And you can schedule it during quiet times. I love my robot vacuum. I really like this vacuum. It does a lot, this vacuum. And the one thing I noticed about this that I was really impressed was all the examples of how you can hook it up. So they showed the kitchen, but they also showed you can hook it up in a bathroom. And they showed how you can tie that in just by undoing the toilet to get the water there. And then they had a little pipe that drains into the toilet. It's cool. They also showed like you can hook it up to your washing machine outlet. And doing it right there. And I was like, that's perfect because I could put it under the sink in my laundry room and it hooks up to that same pipe. So they actually had a lot of options for hooking it up. It was really impressive. There were some other features with it where it would charge the base station or something like that too. It was like it would go and charge another device so that you didn't have to plug that one in. That was really, you have to read up on it. It's really cool though. My only thing was, I thought it was a miss. It would be really cool if you could connect it to your central vac so that, you know, it auto emptied itself too, right into your central vac. Like, why'd they stop there? Why did they just add that too?
It's coming.
You know, yeah, maybe a little attachment that you hook it up to a central vac outlet and, you know, when it wants to empty it, it just, you know, triggers it and turns it on and there you go, right? Like,
finally, something useful for those whole house vacuums everybody installed.
Exactly. I'm still waiting for the vacuum that can climb stairs though. You know, I think that's like when we get those that can climb stairs and do your second floor, I think, you know, that's when you know you've got it there.
Yeah, interesting. I didn't think this was going to be done this way when I was reading this, but like, okay, I'm looking through the pictures now and getting a better idea. It doesn't install like under your sink, TJ. It's like in the toe kick under your cabinets.
Well, yeah, but like, I don't know. I do dishes and stuff there, so I'm gonna have to like kick this robot all the time. It's messed up.
Yeah,
robot's gonna rise against
longer
me.
Tubes or something. Yeah.
But I guess I could notch a section of the cabinet out. I don't know. I'll figure it out though.
Well, the toe kicks can usually just pop out, and since this is so small, it probably just fits right under there perfectly. So,
well, yeah, and I could just cut it like a hole. I could be like all janky, like, and just cut a hole in the bottom of the cabinet, and then that thing could just drive in and everything.
Yep.
Right. And here's the other part I missed, and where they really didn't understand is like the water station that we're talking about that installs under your sink is a separate device, and it's battery powered. And the little robot will come up to it and refill itself with water. It'll drain itself of all the dirty water and fill up with new water, and then head back over to the station, you know, the normal station that we have where it charges and the dust bags in there and everything, and it'll refill the water there. That's kind of crazy, but really cool at the same time. Like it's two pieces that I thought it was going to be all in one. I thought that the docking station would be the same thing, but no, it's not.
And that's what's weird to me, right? Is because I don't know about you, but like almost every house I go into has an outlet underneath the sink for the garbage disposal.
Yep.
So like they could easily tie into the electrical there, but maybe it's some like code thing or I don't know, safety product thing.
Yeah, it's just a low voltage thing. I'm not sure why they didn't have it plug like into a power supply or something, and why that has to be battery powered. But
yeah, maybe like an optional or something. But yeah. It's pretty weird. I
don't know. Having the two devices where this little robot goes back and forth between them and gets its own like water and everything and kind of cleans itself out. It's a good idea. I'll have to see what they do with this.
I like how they're thinking beyond, you know, they're adding something new. It's not just another robot vacuum. It's a robot vacuum that does a little more than everybody else. And I think that's how they're going to stand out.
Well, yeah, because cleaning these things or like emptying that out is still like it's still something you have to do. It's still maintenance or whatever. Like, just because I have a robot lawnmower doesn't mean I get to like not mow my lawn. I'm still out there doing stuff. It's just, I have to do it less because it mostly can keep up with the lawn while the grass is not growing so fast after a hurricane. So we'll see how it handles this. But yeah, I still had to mow my lawn just because it doesn't get everywhere. It doesn't get around the edges and all that good stuff. So maintenance is still there with these robots. And this takes a little bit of that maintenance away, which is very nice. I like it. It says many of the S10's high-end competitors cost upward of $1,500. So
yeah, but I don't even know of another one that hardwires to the water. Does it? Is there?
Not that I'm aware of. This is the first one I've seen that does this. It's a really cool idea. They're the author of the story is anticipating a reception or a price at about $1,000. So still a very expensive vacuum mop robot, but I don't know. Depends on if you want a expensive lawnmower robot or mop robot.
I think I'd rather have the mower, but
all right, we'll have to keep an eye on them and see what these come in at. And it sounds like Gavin's in the market. TJ might be too. We might be spending a few $1,000 on this show here.
I don't know. I already have one. I don't know if I could justify a second one, but I need one for upstairs. So maybe I could promote this one to upstairs and get a new one for downstairs. I don't know.
There you go.
Yeah, that's thinking.
Yeah, that's what people do with their TVs. So why not the robot vacuums?
There you go.
All right. Speaking of robot vacuums, iRobot has introduced a cost-effective Roomba J5 Plus and i5 Plus robot vacuum mop options. It's got a lot of the same features as the pricier J7 Plus combo, priced at $1,000 or $749 for the version without the docking station, and $699 or $449 without the docking stations. The new models allow for flexible cleaning. The J5 Plus identifies no mop zones, avoids pet waste, and employs obstacle avoidance, and both feature self-emptying bins, charging stations, smart maps, and run on iRobot OS. I guess that's a thing. I remember us talking about that and thinking, that's ridiculous. But here we are. iRobot OS. It's a real thing. Pre-orders are now open, and they'll be available from September 3rd. Meanwhile, Amazon's acquisition of iRobot is waiting on regulatory approval. I've heard that's probably not going to go through now, though, so it's kind of interesting. What do you guys think about this? I know we just talked about vacuums, but this is kind of like the more traditional robot vacuum. I think the price is a lot better for all the stuff that you get.
It is a good price. I have an Roomba. I have the i7 Plus. My only issue with that robot vacuum is the charging sensors seem to like corrode over time. So it's like almost every 3 or 4 weeks, I have to actually go and clean them off and like almost like use like a little not that scrubber, the magic wipe on it to get it off, because otherwise it doesn't make a good enough contact and then it doesn't charge, you know. And that's apparently a known issue with these things, because when you Google it, everybody tells you how to clean it, and they actually have a support article around it, right? And I'm just like, it's almost every 3 weeks I got to do this. You know, I know it's something small, but it still drives me nuts. So if I'm looking at a robot vacuum, I'm probably going to avoid Roomba. I'll probably look at some of the others like the Roborox, you know, even the SwitchBot one, you know, because they all seem to they offer similar features. If not, they're just leapfrogging each other when it comes to features. This guy offers it, so they add it and they add something else, you know. So I'm not in the market right now, but I will probably look for something else.
Well, see, okay, so the i5 Plus, the $699 for the i5 Plus that's the one I thought, oh, that price isn't so bad. But that one doesn't have any of those cool features like obstacle avoidance, avoiding rugs, carpeted rooms. It doesn't do the same thing. I guess the J5 Plus does the same things as the J7 Plus. So $1,000, and the J7 Plus is more expensive. So,
and I got mine off of Marketplace as well.
Oh my God!
Marketplace. You see, I paid like $500 for my i7 off Marketplace from some guy that got it from, I don't know if he was at a wedding, it was a giveaway or something. He just wanted to get rid of it, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, I feel I've only ever owned one robot vacuum, and it's pretty nice. We have our setup to automatically go out whenever we both leave. But I feel like I would have to have the auto emptying canister. Just because I don't touch mine unless it gets wrapped up in something, or for some reason it flips upside down like a turtle. So the never touching it thing is nice, and that's kind of why the SwitchBot mop thing is appealing, because hopefully you would never mess with that.
The saddest message to see from the robot vacuum is when it's stuck in the bathroom. I've actually had mine get stuck in the bathroom because it went and cleaned behind the door, but then it pushed the door closed.
Yeah.
And then you get that little text message saying, help, I'm stuck in the bathroom.
Can't return home.
Yeah.
I'm looking through Marketplace to see if I want to iRobot, and I'm thinking, no, I don't know.
I think the Sarasota, Florida marketplace is totally different than a Toronto marketplace. We have more people probably here selling things.
There's just not none of these are compelling. These are all like random off-brands. They have some iRobots, but I don't really trust their pricing that they have here. It's like $100.
You have Gov Deals, we have Marketplace. Haha.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Not so good over here on the Marketplace. No cheapskates. I know what I got.
That's how you know it's a really good deal.
All right, well, let's move on here. Kind of an interesting story about Dolby introducing this new idea, what they're calling Dolby Atmos Flex Connect. I don't know. I have opinions on Dolby, but they're calling this a groundbreaking feature that enhances TV sound. So Flex Connect seamlessly pairs TV speakers with wireless accessories to help deliver immersive Dolby Atmos sound without relying on a soundbar. It intelligently optimizes the audio for room layouts, calibrating wireless speakers using the TV's microphones, and the feature spreads audio around the room using those external speakers, ensuring optimal sound quality and avoiding strain on the TV speakers. TCL is going to be the first to offer Flex Connect on its 2024 TVs, accompanied by a line of supporting wireless speakers. Kind of a cool idea. I mean, TV speakers have notoriously sounded like garbage. Dolby kind of getting in the mix here and saying, yeah, we can do better. And to help with it, you're gonna have the ability to get Atmos sound by adding a couple of speakers around the room. Not a bad idea for like a basic setup. Like this would be great for like a master bedroom my master bedroom. Like this is what we would like. Something where you can actually hear the audio without having the soundbar. TJ, what do you think?
I'm going to go ahead and say skeptical on this one, but it's only because TV speakers themselves are so awful that they're basically just suggesting you buy other speakers, and that's what you do with a soundbar and like everything else. So yes, this makes sense, and I can see where Dolby is going with this, but I don't really see this as a thing that I want to use. I don't know.
What if they include them as like a big package? Like you get the TV and the speakers.
I mean, I guess. Then it'd be like the plasma days where you buy your Pioneer Elite plasma with the side attached speakers.
Yeah.
But not side attached. They're just in your room. or like a home theater in a box, I guess. I don't know. I could see the use of this though, because honestly, a lot of people go out and buy those like $50 Sony soundbars anyway. And they're like, oh, it comes with a subwoofer. It's so good. And so this would probably sound way better than that at least. So not hating altogether, but skeptical.
Yeah, I can see my soundbar sounds like garbage. I have an LG soundbar with an LG TV, then I don't like it. But it's better than the TV speakers.
Yeah.
Because every time we get them, my wife is like, oh, we don't need a soundbar for that. We don't need a Sonos for that. And then I'm like, okay. And I hang the TV and I diligently turn on the speakers. And she's like, I can't understand them. What? What are they saying?
Yes.
I'm like, yeah, we need the soundbar. And then we went and got the soundbar and all was well with the world. For the 5 or 6 times a year we watch TV on that TV. So
there you go. Well worth it though. Every time you use it, it just works.
Exactly.
You know, I've added the soundbar to all the TVs that we use the most. So I put and what I did is I just went on Marketplace and grabbed an older Sonos soundbar. You know, a Beam Gen 1 because I didn't need all the fancy stuff. It's just that easy, isn't it,
Gavin? The guy,
yeah, it is.
I mean, come on. I've been looking for a Marketplace soundbar for like how long here, and they just don't exist. So
seriously, I import one from Canada. Check the Canadian Marketplace. There's a whole bunch of Gen 1s
bring
on
one
there.
down from Canada, Gavin.
Yeah, you know,
bring it to CEDIA. I want to see this Marketplace.
All I do is I put watches out there, and then eventually I know what price I want to find and want to buy it at, and eventually one just pops up on there, and I jump on it right away. And, you know, that's how I save the money with that because I don't need a Gen 3. You know, it has a whole bunch of features that my TV doesn't support anyway. So I'm good with the Gen 1 just to enhance the sound, you know. And in my family room, I added, you know, some surrounds and stuff like that. So we got better sound there. But built-in TV speakers, yeah, they do suck.
Yeah, I need to figure out surrounds for my room, my living room, if I'm going to do Sonos ones or I'm going to do in-ceiling. Probably Sonos ones.
Yeah, I don't see anything. Like I'm scrolling through here and there's a couple of like Sonos things at full price. Like they clearly have just bought the thing and they want to resell it.
I just get dealer pricing, so that's good enough for me.
Maybe I'll talk to my friend TJ in Ohio. He knows my address.
It just happened to show up on there. I was looking to see if I have any 30% upgrade offers, and I don't. I have a bunch of 15% though.
I still have one of those laying around. Maybe I'll take advantage of that. Yeah, who knows?
There you go.
Probably won't.
Just buy a whole home theater setup. That way you can get the sub and everything. Yeah, might as well.
We'll see. All right. Well, let's move on here. I don't know. This is a new company. Like it's a new product, I guess, that now matters, right? So Smart Wings, which is a shade company, introduces innovative smart blinds, and it combines Matter and Thread for seamless integration across the major ecosystems using Matter. These blinds ensure local operation without relying on cloud connections, enhancing privacy and reliability, and initially available for roller shades and dual roller shades. Smart Wings plans to extend Matter over Thread support to other blind options. The company's customizable approach allows users to personalize dimensions, materials, colors, and valence preferences. I think we were just talking about smart curtains, smart blinds last week, and talking about like what options were out there, and this might be one of them.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about this company just most recently, honestly. I think they just keep getting recommended for really affordable shades. And if you've ever looked into smart shades, which I know all three of us have, they are crazy expensive, especially when you have to do like a whole room or anything. I think the cheapest I've ever found for like quote unquote decent quality smart shades was about $200. If you're not counting the IKEA ones. IKEA is just remarkably cheap because they have 5 different options and that's it. But they're very expensive in general. So it's always good to see these companies come out with this, and now they matter.
Yeah, they've got, and I love this on their page. They've actually works with multiple integrations. They have the home automation systems like the Pro Systems, Control4, Crestron, RT, Ion. Works with Samsung Smart Things. It looks like it's got Zigbee Z-Wave options, Habitat, and Home Assistant. So I'm a fan. I don't even know how good the shades are, but I'm a fan of all this. This is great.
Yeah, and like you can get this dual shade one, so you can have different fabrics on each one. $459.
Wow,
that would be like $3 million on Lutron land.
This is probably right.
In 5 weeks on back order for everything else.
Probably like $5,600. I would say probably about that much.
Yeah, definitely.
Gavin, have you used these guys before? Smart Wings?
Yep, I saw reviews of them. The people that, were reviewing them actually really like them. And when you're looking at shades and stuff like this, one of the things you need to take into consideration is how loud they are, I find. I have the IKEA ones in my bathroom, and I have them set up to, at sunrise, open up, and you'd be surprised it wakes me up every morning at sunrise. Because they're so loud. So take that into consideration when you're looking at something like this. How loud are they?
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm looking at their fabrics and some of the options they have, and like these are definitely some of the traditional fabrics too. So like it's not like you're not probably missing out on the quality of. They're probably using some decent manufactured fabrics and going with these options. Like some of these are very familiar from what I've seen. So I don't know. I might have to try one of these out, especially for like $179 for a 70% blackout shade. Like, okay.
Yeah, you can't really lose anything at that point. So
yeah, it's either this or a Tableau, right? Like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, but do you have a room with just one window, Seth?
The room I'm in right now, my garage, has one window behind this TV.
Well, that one definitely needs a smart blind. That's always the problem with smart blinds. It's like, oh yeah, one of them's only $200, but it's like, oh, I have 5 windows in this one room, so now it's $1,000.
My daughter's room has one window in it, I think. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Just wake her up every day at 5 a.m.
Yeah, that won't wake her up. Turns out she likes her sleep. Anyway, that's pretty cool. We'll put a link to it in the show notes. And congratulations, Smart Wings. You matter this week. All the links and topics we discussed tonight can be found on our show notes over at HomeTech.fm/450. Wow, getting up there. We do have no pick of the week this week, but I do have some feedback in the mailbag. A question that came through over Mastodon from James Todd. And he said he was going to ask you guys to come up with a solution for my bathroom fans when you can't replace the switch or fan for your segment replacing Stacy's IoT question section. Okay, so yeah, we said we were going to do this. I was going to come up with a ridiculously overpriced thing. So he wants a solution to automate his bathroom fans when he can't replace the switch or fan. So the in-ceiling fan, he can't. How do you automate it? How do you automate something that you can't replace anything on?
Yeah, I would say SwitchBot, so he's already got his answer.
Gavin, you've got your hands up. I'm assuming about the bathroom fans when you can't replace the switch or fan.
Yeah.
What do you suggest?
I'm thinking he can't replace the switch, but he can still get access behind it, to hook up something, and something like those Shelly modules that you wire in line with them, right? My only thought about that though is when you're looking at a switch for a fan, there's different requirements. I guess with a fan, you have to be careful because some of them, when they start up, they draw more wattage to get going. That's why you have certain switches that are rated for fans and some that they say do not hook up to fans. But I would think of something like the Shelly. You can wire it in line with the switch and control the fan through that without replacing the switch. That's all I can think of. The SwitchBot one, yes, I know what you're thinking with that, but it's just too ugly. I can't suggest that one. Like the other, and if you end up looking at something like the SwitchBot, I would say don't go with the SwitchBot. Look for something called the FingerBot. And the only reason why
HR.
It's it's an actual product.
We make a lot of money on that one.
The only difference, the only reason why is because the SwitchBot, you lose manual control of the switch, right? The FingerBot actually has a button on it. It's very similar, but a little different, but actually has a button on it to actually push the switch. So you still have control of that switch if you want with that thing covering it. So if you do decide on something like that, look at the FingerBot, but look at the Shellys and wiring it behind the switch first.
So does this question, are they separate switches or are they like the same switch?
Yeah, I would assume it's a separate switch. Let's just go ahead and say it's on its own circuit for it to be.
Yeah, the switch for the fan, I think.
Yeah, so if they're separate switches and they're the old toggle switches, there's a company called Third Reality that makes it basically snaps over the existing toggle light switch. And it sounds similar to what Gavin's saying, but it's like an actual switch replacement that goes on top of it. And it still has a physical button on it. So that way, if you want to flip the light on or off, you just hit the button, but it's automated and it's Zigbee. And I use those in my apartment because I obviously couldn't change any of the lighting without getting in trouble or something. And I use these things. They're like $30 each, if that. And they are super easy to use and they integrated with Home Assistant and everything. I did also use a Z-Wave dual relay, kind of like what Gavin was saying, but this one's Z-Wave specifically for my ceiling fan with the light in the living room because I didn't want to run a new wire for a switch and there's not really a good spot to put it, unfortunately. This thing was $50 on Amazon, so it's a little expensive, but it's been working great for my fan and my light in the living room, so... Couple different options there for you, depending on what your setup actually is.
Yeah. So mine's really going to be hard to do here because how am I supposed to come up with something that's just crazy and overpriced? I say you're just going to have to move. Like there's just, if you can't replace this stuff, it's time to move.
Yeah.
And find somewhere. I did find something called a HomeWorks, not with an O, with an E. So works like twerks, humidity smart fan that detects your bathroom has reached 60% and 80% humidity levels and automatically turns on 80 CFM to 100 CFM fan based on the humidity.
But he can't replace the switch, though.
It's got a dimmable LED light. I'm just going to tell him he's got to, because I'm an integrator. I'm not going to listen to half his stuff that he wants. That's what I'm doing.
If money's no object, I would hire somebody to stand there and press the switch every time I walked in there. I'd pay somebody just to be the switch controller. That's your job title.
Yeah. This also has a memory feature that turns on your most recently used nightlight cover or the main LED level. So it's got quite a bit here. It says it's now available on Amazon. So let's go look for that and see how much it costs. Here it is. Is this it? We'll just say this is it. And it's $129. That was quite a bit for for a bathroom fan. So, there you go. Ooh, here's a $164 one. I guess I can't really help much. I would have suggested using the Shelly ones as well. And good call on that, Gavin, where the fans need a little bit more amperage to crank up. That does happen from time to time. So keep an eye on that. But the Shelly is probably the easiest thing to do because you could put it in line, you could put it up in the fan canopy, like up with the fan, all that good stuff. And some of those fans actually inside of them, there's like a little plug that you can unplug and you might be able to fit something in there, like even just a Wemo switch or something like that, where you can just automate that somehow. But I've had some of those in the past where the instead of being like hardwired in, there was a plug you could unplug that unplugged the fan motor, disconnected the fan motor from like the little where the power was landed in there. And I don't know. I guess if there's something small enough, you'd be able to plug into that and automate somehow. So might be an option. If you can't make your home smart, though, I think you have to move. So
buy a new house.
Yeah.
Buy a McMansion somewhere, then your problem will be solved.
I guess I do have this peak of the week, and it's kind of could be relevant in a couple hours here when the wind picks up. This little UPS thing that I kind of ran across on Amazon. It's called a Talent Cell Mini UPS uninterruptible power supply. It's basically a UPS for your router modem thing that you kind of have like sticking off on the side. It's got a bunch of like low voltage 12 volt outputs on it, and maybe a 5 volt output or a 9 volt output or something. Basically, I would stick this near my ONT because my ONT doesn't have a battery backup on it. Could plug this into the ONT and have it powered. And I guess it works the same way as a traditional UPS. So when it loses power, it's still just the batteries kick in and it stays running. But it's only $62, and there's various options on Amazon going down to like $39. So it just depends on what you need. But I thought this was a clever idea, and if you like, so every now and then we have a power blip here, and I worry that the ONT is going to get powered down, and sometimes it does. I'll be offline for a little bit, and it takes a while for it to like connect up with the Verizon box down the street. This would solve that. So under $100, so it's less than one Tableau. You could buy 2 of these and get 1 shade. Yeah. So.
No, this is definitely a good idea. Combine it with a controllable outlets, and you'd have me sold.
Controllable outlets. Why? Why would you need that for?
I don't know, so I can reboot my whatever, Seth.
Oh, you'd want to have it like controllable on there. Like
Elan actually has one. It's not battery backup, but Elan has one for USB-A devices, so that way you can just power cycle things.
Smart.
Just throw an Ethernet port on this, and bam.
I actually put a smart plug on my internet router, and Home Assistant will auto reboot it if it goes offline for so many minutes, right? And notify me. And I've noticed that has worked a few times actually now.
Nice.
Now TJ has me thinking. So it does have a little on-off switch, so maybe you could use your fingerbot thing, your switchbot.
Fingerbot, yeah.
Flip it there.
Fingerbot.
I haven't heard of this fingerbot. I won't just because of the name.
I am not searching for that or putting that in the show notes, Gavin. So
I accidentally typed in finger pot. That's totally different things.
If you have any questions, comments, ideas for the new section here, where we can kind of come up with absurd ways or very reasonable ways to fix your home automation problems, give us a shout. Our email address is feedback@HomeTech.fm, or you can fill out the form over at HomeTech.fm feedback, or you can just message us on Mastodon, because it seems that message made it over. HomeTech.social for Mastodon. Oh boy. All right. Project updates. I got nothing. I'm trying to wrap up a bunch of stuff at work and get to
you got
Denver.
all kinds of projects.
So yeah, there's plenty of projects.
Just not fun projects.
You guys will see my projects next week. Let's TJ, you got some project update. What's going on?
I got some small updates. Gavin and I sat down on a Zoom call, Sunday night, and worked on ESPresense for Home Assistant. And so I bought these little Bluetooth, little ESP32 devices, I guess with presence detection, probably some kind of MM-wave thing. They were like $26 each from some random store that sells like chips and other snacks. So that's always a good purchase when you start off with that. And the instructions I got with it kind of sucked, as you kind of would expect from a snack selling website. And I was like, Gavin, I know you're really smart with this stuff. Help me. And so Gavin helped me, and we got it set up. And it was very annoying to get it set up. I don't know what Gavin thought about it, but it was very obnoxious to like, you have to find the Bluetooth. The most difficult thing was just finding Bluetooth MAC addresses or whatever I identified it as, because you're using MQTT to like actually talk to all these devices. And it just kind of gives them whatever name it feels like. And so like that was the hardest part, is tracking down what the device actually is called. And then that way I could add it to the system and everything. But now I've only got 2 of these devices. I've got one in the living room and I've got one in the kitchen, but I can know if my devices are actually at the house or not and where they are in the house. And I figure now that I got 2 of them working, I'll probably buy several more so that way I can have one just kind of like in each room. And that way I can just easily look at Home Assistant and be like, oh, my keys are, in the living room, or my keys are in the bedroom, or wherever they might be. And so I'll probably spend another $200 on sensors to like get the whole house outfitted. But it'll be kind of a neat little project that I can use to track all my stuff and know when I'm home and maybe where my stuff is.
Yeah, I saw the little screenshot you posted. I was not really understanding what it was, but it had like various things or people, and like it was like here, or what was it, away or something like that. I don't know. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I have like TJ's keys, Nicole's car, van, TJ's key or Nicole's keys, whatever, in my phone. And if it's not at the house, it'll tell you that it's, not home or whatever it says. But if it's actually at the house, it'll tell you whichever device it's actually connected to. And so right now I only have 2. So, I mean, the range is obviously not as good as it would be with multiple devices in the house. Mm-hmm. But it's pretty cool to play around with. I really just wanted it so I can automate whenever we leave the house. Because there's just like, sometimes we leave certain devices at the house, but we all go in the same place, or, there's a car that's left behind or whatever it is. And so the more stuff I can kind of track and figure out good schedules for that kind of stuff, the more I can just like, run the vacuum when we're not home, or turn on the indoor cameras, or whatever it is that I want to do.
Nice.
It's getting there, but I wouldn't have been able to do it without Gavin. So props to Gavin for being a smart person.
It would be cool if you would be able to integrate it with the Amazon product to say, hey, where's my keys? And she could tell you what room it's in.
Right.
That would be really cool. I don't know if you could pass through a device with that kind of attribute for it to read back to you, but that's just future thinking, Some people I know put a tag on their pet, their cat, their dog, and that way they'll know where they are, either in the house or sometimes they're in the backyard or something like that. So just some ideas.
Yeah, I thought about doing that for the yard as well, because we're currently fostering a dog, but at some point we're gonna just adopt a dog that we want to adopt. And we have a fenced-in yard, but sometimes like I just want to make sure the dog is actually outside and not like down the street somewhere. And so I think I will get 2 or 3 of these devices that I can place around the yard, and so that way I just know like, the dog hasn't gone out of the yard or whatever it is. So like I feel like there's some like really good use cases out there for this kind of stuff. It's so painful to get it set up, and you wouldn't think it would be that painful, because it's like you're just looking at Bluetooth devices and like where they are and stuff, but it's super painful.
You were just doing something a little more advanced. That's all.
Yeah,
that's all.
I'm not an advanced person.
I know.
I'm gonna plug it in and click some buttons, and bam, it works.
Yeah, that's one of the things I think that separates a lot of like the DIY products and the pro products is a lot of like the fit and finish. Even though you may even have even less options with a pro product. It's like, why would you buy that? You only have less options. Well, it's like the fit and like how it goes together though. Like you're not going to have, there was a post on, was it Reddit or something over the weekend? I think I shared with you guys. It was like a guy talking about starting an integration business, but like centering on using Home Assistant. And, everybody's laughing here on the call, but like, if you read through the thing, it was like, everybody's like, no, that's a nightmare. Don't do it. Home Assistant, it's not ready for that. Don't do that. Like everybody was very upfront. I think this was even on the Home Assistant forums or Reddit automation. I think
it was a Facebook group.
Yeah. Like it was just like, do not do this. This is a bad idea. And it's like, okay, yeah, you're probably right. I mean, from my experience, that's kind of like what I have from it. It's like, I'm just like you, TJ. I'm very simple. I just kind of want to plug it in and kind of like see I want the easy switch on where it just shows me like, oh, the light is on or off. And I really, if I want to get to the cool stuff, I can, but it's all buried under mounds and mounds of what do you call them, Gavin? all those little things I have turned on.
Entities.
Entities. Yeah.
Well, and especially like when you do this stuff professionally, the last thing I want to do when I come home is mess with my automation system.
Yep.
And so like finding the motivation to like do this stuff is like non-existent for me at this point, just because I'm so busy with everything else. And so like I literally went through last night until like 11:30 at night, just making sure like my smoke detectors and water leak sensors and stuff were going to actually send me notifications if stuff happened, because like who knows, maybe it broke or something, or maybe I just didn't set it up.
And that's why you want to create some automation to notify you if any of these things go offline, right? But then that's going to be another day task. So
right, my problem is I never even set it up to like notify me if like my sink detected water. So that's my problem, is just finding the time to do it. And
and Home Assistant, if you're ever going to build a business around it, it's the type of thing you have to know it inside and out. You have to know how MQTT interacts with it, and Zigbee and Z-Wave and matter, because when something breaks, you need to know where to look to figure it out. So
nothing ever breaks with Home Assistant.
I think that's probably the biggest problem is also when it breaks, it could be something that they did, intentionally, not like they're updating something. So all that stuff you did for that customer that paid you thousands of dollars to do it is all broken now because of a free update, because it said update on the app. It's like, oh, that's probably not something you can do as a professional. Somebody that, they're going to come back to you and say, hey, I paid you thousands of dollars. Why doesn't this work anymore? Because I pressed update. Like it told me to update. So yeah, I think it's got a ways to go before it gets that easy switch turned on where most people could use it. And then if you really wanted to get in there into the nitty gritty and set things up, you totally can. So will be interesting.
Yeah. And then, so the rest of my projects are kind of boring. They're not really technology related, but I bought a new bicycle. That's always fun. I've been wanting a nice mountain bike for a little while now. And the company called Public Lands, which I think is owned by Dick's Sporting Goods, they were doing some sales and they had like $400 off a bike. So I bought a new bike. It's a Cannondale Trail 6. So I'll be hitting the mountains with it the end of September. My buddy and I are going to Fayetteville, West Virginia to do some mountain biking. So I'm excited to give the new bike a shot.
Nice.
The next boring, this one's sad actually. I am getting a new roof on the house, and if you've ever bought a roof for your house, you know that is a lot of money and it is no fun. So we talked to, I think I talked to like a dozen companies to like get a roof estimate, because one of the problems with the attic is that there's not really like proper ventilation. And so the attic is like abnormally hot. And like, I say this as a person that goes into attics, like maybe not that much anymore, but I used to be in attics all the time. And so like, I know what a hot attic is. And like, this one is like obnoxiously hot. And it's because they never installed proper venting. So they have like the 2 gable vents on the side of the house, and then they have the ridge cap at the very top of the roof, but that's it. And so our roof was in bad shape.
That'll actually destroy the roof over time. Like that's not good for the roof at all. Like, yeah,
well, and that's exactly what's happened. Is there's a lot of issues in the attic that the inspector didn't catch. Thank you. And so I talked to all these roofing companies, and it was basically like, here's the problem. Like the roof sucks. Like we're doing a full teardown. Like I just want them to replace all the wood underneath the roof. They're like, and every company I would talk to, they'd be like, no, you don't need to replace all the wood. And I'm like, look, I've been in the attic, like it's in really terrible shape. You're going to replace the whole roof. Let's just do all the wood. Like how much is it to do all the wood? It's $1,500. Okay, well, in the $10,000 I'm going to spend on just the roof alone, $1,500 is not that much more. Let's just do that. And so like finding a company though that would like just do that though was obnoxiously hard for some. And I don't understand why. Like you're making more money to do it. So like why not? But like all the companies I talked to, half of them didn't want to do all the decking. They kept telling me I didn't need to do that. And the other half of the companies I talked to, nobody knew how to like fix the actual ventilation issue. And so this one company that we talked to like actually like came up with a plan to fix it. And they do, what do they call it? They call it like an intake air vent or something like that. But it's basically like a slit through the roof on both sides of the house, kind of like right above the gutter area. And it's basically like in roof soffit vent.
Yeah.
But that's what they're going to do on the front and the back of the house to fix the ventilation issues. So hopefully that'll be done the week after we get back from CEDIA. So we're hopefully no more roof problems after this.
That sounds like a squirrel door to me.
That's what I thought too, but it's very thin, I guess. So I don't know. It's basically like the same size as a ridge cap, but it's like along the whole thing, and it's just lower down on the roof. So I don't know.
As long as it can get cool air pulled up through there the hot air gets pulled out the top and the cool air. We did like a little solar fan thing on ours too. I mean, because we're Florida, and I figure I should have something with solar. But yeah, it seems to work well. I poke my head up there from time to time, and the attic is obnoxiously hot because it's Florida, but the fan is working. Yeah. It's doing something. So,
well, and that's my thing is you can definitely tell the difference between like a cooler attic and like not a cooler attic. Mm-hmm. Like there's some I go into and I'm like, you just like want to die as soon as you like step foot into it. It's like, oh, never mind. I don't want to go in here today.
Yep.
But when we do the roof, we have to do the insulation too. So I asked my homeowner question. I feel like everybody gets one homeowner question whenever they're hiring somebody. And I asked the contractor if I could get up in the attic while they're tearing the roof off to remove all the old insulation. And he looked at me like I was nuts. And he was like, I mean, no, probably not. And I was like, look, I respect that, but it would just make my life so much easier.
Yeah. I did that when they were working on mine. I asked him ahead of time. I was like, but I was doing the blow-in insulation. I just wanted to add some over an area of the home that didn't have any insulation. Mm-hmm. And yeah, they were more than happy. They were really working in that area at the time. They were doing some other stuff, and I just kind of got up there and just blew a bunch of insulation in and ran away. And yeah, they were awesome. So
nice. Well, I'm jealous. My people are not that cool.
Well, I think the crews that come out are piecemeal too, so they're just getting paid like a flat rate on the whole thing, and like they're not interested in your shenanigans, so they just want to get in and get out and get paid.
Yeah, I can't blame them for that.
Nope.
That's all I've got. Vacation starts on Saturday, so if you contact me, then I'm not going to respond.
Or we'll be rude. He'll respond to you, but it'll just be rude.
Yeah.
Gavin, what have you been up to?
Not much, but this week was more or less a bunch of projects to put in some monitoring to solve issues that have kind of bitten me, right? So I'll explain what I mean. So recently we were having, power blips. The storms this year have been crazy. We've been having a lot of power blips, power outages here and there. So I actually beefed up my UPS on my rack because my rack's grown over the years. So, stop laughing, but it's grown over the years. I added extra power. So now when we have these power blips, things stay on longer. And they don't flicker off and on. So, but the other things I've added, this week I worked on. So, I actually got this idea of a forum for a pool water level sensor. It's actually, I had the parts sitting around, so I kind of put it together, using a float switch and a Z-Wave contact sensor that had external inputs. Very easy. The float switch goes up. It triggers the input as open or close. I'll know if my water, is below a certain level. I've been bit by this twice before where the water dropped for some reason. Once I had a leak in my liner. The other time I had a leak in a pipe. And you want to get notified so you can turn off the pump because otherwise you don't feel your pump, right? So I put that in place. 3D designed the part. 3D printed the holder. The 3D printer, makes you look at problems differently now. So, I took my calipers, took some measurements, 3D printed everything, threw it together, threw it in the skimmer. And now I feel good knowing that I'll know when the water drops too low now, and I can have it automate turning off the pump now. So it's great, and
genius.
That's cool. The other thing I picked up, another EcoWit device, the water, sensor. The water rain sensor, right? The rain gauge. And my main reason for this is, we had a couple storms this week and the wife left the doors open. So those storms were the rain was going sideways right into the family room, onto the floor. We have wood floors. It kind of ruined part of the floor. So I decided to put one of these outside. So when it rains, it will actually, I'll have an automation set up that says, hey, if it's raining, I'm detecting rain and any of your windows or doors are open, I'm going to notify you with priority so that you can close them just in case. Right. solve a problem that could be expensive if you don't take care of. So, that's kind of how I spent this week doing that. I did pick up one of the new Aqara T1 light strips too. They now have, they're going to be adding integration to Home Assistant, but if you look in, Zigbee to MQTT, GitHub, you'll see somebody that posted, a config file there so you can get it working with Home Assistant. So I use that instead and it works really well. But I actually put that in my 3D, printer case. So now it lights up the 3D printer so I can see things better with my camera that I have in there too. So I can see my prints, because it's easier just to look on my camera to see what's going on than to have to walk all the way to the basement to check it out. So those light strips, they work really well. They're really bright. And they also have a music mode. So you can put in music mode and they'll flash and do all fun things while the music's playing, which is really cool too. Right. So, if you're going to put them in your bedroom, you got your music mode, with your smart candles,
So, do these have like a little box or something that listens for the music? Yeah.
So they have a physical on-off switch. They have a music button that you can click that it will turn it into music mode. So it's really cool. I like them. They're a pretty good price. They're extendable if you want. You can buy extra pieces for it, and then you can connect them. So that's pretty cool too. So I can recommend them now. Now that they've added, they're adding support to Home Assistant for it.
Nice.
This week also, a company I've been following for a while called GeoDrops. I've been trying to get in on the beta for this. We don't talk enough about, soil moisture sensors on this show, but they're another company that makes one, but there's a lot more to it. And we'll link to the video in the notes. They went into depth with all the things they take into consideration, why this one is much better than the others, how they're integrating AI and where their future is with this. It was a really good watch, just seeing the things that they had to think about, the things they had to deal with, when designing the product. I recommend watching it. I did get in on the beta, so I'm hoping to get one soon that I could play with. The only thing that really killed it for me, and this kind of hurt, is at the end of the presentation, they mentioned subscription. And once they said that, I was all excited, and then they said that word, and I was like, I don't want to pay a subscription just to get to my soil moisture. If they gave you, you bought the device and all you could do was get like the temperature of the soil and the moisture in the soil, I'm good with that. Right. And if they want to add subscription for the other stuff, like all the AI prediction and all that stuff, a lot of that stuff was done already in my controller, and they're just coming along saying we can do it better. Mm-hmm. Right. I'm not looking for that. So if it is a subscription product, it's probably not for me. But it did look like a good product that's very accurate with its readings. So I'm looking forward to that, getting that. And then also this week, one of the smart home YouTubers, do-it-yourself smart home guy, he passed the torch. He's passed his YouTube channel on to Pete who formerly worked at Habitat. So he had a big YouTube streaming event where he had a few guests on his show. Guests include Connected, Inavelli, and Zeus. And they came in and talked. And why I recommend watching this video, if anything, for Zeus, I was really impressed with, I think it was Agnes from Zeus was on there, and she came on and she talked about the future of what they're working on. And she talked about Z-Wave 800 and Z-Wave long range. And she did such a great job. She sold me, right? At that point, I ordered a new controller for my Home Assistant, a Z-Wave 800, so I could play with this long range. I ordered an extra switch that will do long range. I have another device that does long range, but the thing about long range is, if you're familiar with Z-Wave and how it works with the mesh system, right? The whole long range is different. It's a hub and spoke type of model. And it gets rid of that mesh, which eliminates a lot of delays and stuff, but the devices are also communicating over much further distances. So you don't really need the mesh. So you get a lot of speed, and it really sounds really good. I'm going to play around with that. I'm going to see, how well it works, especially when I throw devices outside. That's the key thing, is when I have devices outside, will it be able to communicate with them? and stuff like that. So watch that video and you will probably get sold on the future of Z-Wave as well. It's not dead. Z-Wave is not dead.
Thank goodness. I was getting worried with Matter there for a little bit. They started releasing all those devices.
Yeah, all those working devices. Matter, I have such a love-hate relationship. As I add more Matter devices to my setup, I hate the fact that, like, yeah, okay, I can control the blinds, but why don't you send over the battery levels too, right? So I can act on that too. No, they just give you control. If you want to see the battery level, I have to launch your app on the phone to see the battery level. Like, it just, stupid things drive me nuts.
Too good. I will actually have to watch the video to figure out what it takes to sell Gavin, so he goes out and buy a bunch of stuff, because that's the goal of this show. Is it took us a while in the rack. We got him there.
That's right. Matching screws. So
matching screws. Yeah. But I'm gonna have to go listen to this. I actually am kind of interested, because the Z-Wave long range stuff sounds interesting, especially we talked about this a little bit before the show. The model they're using is not a mesh; it's a smoke and hub. So I'm curious about that to see how that works. But long term, I guess it's a different frequency, so it's gonna punch through and go further. But I don't know. It seems interesting.
And I reached out to them on X or Twitter, and I asked them about, having the different networks on one controller. And they actually confirmed that if you have long range devices and you want to include them as long range, they'll communicate directly to the controller, but they don't participate in the existing mesh. So you can kind of have both systems set up at the same time. You have your older devices all meshing, but you can also add them to the mesh if you wanted to, but they wouldn't be using the long range model. Right. So that was good to know.
They probably didn't screw up like Matter and just have a bunch of different meshes for each individual platform vendor.
I think I have 4 meshes in my house right now. It's dumb.
Perfect.
It's a standard though. Really? It's a standard.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's awesome. You guys have been busy doing things. I haven't done anything. I don't feel like. I did do something today. Well, I mean, I boarded up a single window of my house. And as you can see by the rain coming down behind me, it's starting to pick up. We're getting about 15 mile an hour gusts with pretty steady, like 10 mile an hour wind. So it's not bad. It seems worse than it is. Maybe the sensor on the little rain thing isn't correct. I don't know.
I think people that are always outside of Florida freak out more about the people more than the people who are in Florida.
This is just a regular day for you.
Like contacting Seth, like, Seth, are you okay? Seth, is everything all right? And Seth's just like, yeah, I mean, it's not even doing anything, guys.
Yeah, the hurricane stuff, it all kind of happens for a while and then it goes away. But we have afternoon storms that are as bad, if not worse, than hurricanes. But the hurricanes, the problem with them is that they're just hours long. Where the afternoon storms, they pass through really quickly, and whatever damage they're going to do in 15 minutes. So, yeah. Well, we'll have to see. I am curious to keep an eye on what happens to the Z-Wave long range stuff, and also keep an eye on this hurricane that's coming through. But I think that's going to wrap up everything we have here for this week. As the rain starts to pound on the garage door, and I can start probably hearing it on the recording, but. Get back to my notes. I'm on Marketplace looking for any good deals, and there's just none. So.
You see, it's based on people in your area too, right? Like that's the whole thing. So I just think our population is probably a little
old
bigger.
People,
yeah, they probably don't have Sonos.
Old people don't use Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah. Search for the clapper. That's probably the home automation system they have.
Always wanted a Zigbee clapper.
Be careful where you type that in, though.
We do want to give a big thank you to everyone who supports the shows, but especially those who are able to financially able to support the show through our Patreon page. If you don't know about the Patreon page, head on over to HomeTech.fm/support to learn how you can support HomeTech for as little as $1 a month. Any pledge over $5 gets you a big shout out here on the show, but every single pledge gets you an invite to our private Slack at the Hub, where you and other supporters of the show can gather every day and talk about whatever news comes up. There's been a couple things posted in there. Couple conversations posted in there. I'm actually mentioned. Oh my gosh, what's going on? Oh, it's Michael asking me about the hurricane. But yeah, there's TJ, you've been posting news in here. There's a nice little comic in here about the little printer that simply worked and other fairy tales. It's a good book. That's cute. Anyway, very cool there. If you're going to the HomeTech Happy Hour, again, HomeTech.fm/happy hour. to learn how you can go there and support that as well. But if you want to help out but can't support the show financially, totally understand. Just appreciate a 5-star review on iTunes or positive rating in the podcast app of your choice. That is going to wrap up here another week on HomeTech. Everybody, have a great weekend, and we will see you in person next week.
Woo. Till next time.
Take care. It's on AliExpress, by the way. Do a search for 2 switches, 1 bot. You can put that in the post show.
Oh, man. Do they have a vibrating version?
Oh, man. Making this hard for him to edit.